just have a couple of TV shows to talk about today. I haven't been watching too much TV recently. I've been watching a lot more YouTube videos than actual TV shows, so I kind of had a hard time coming up with this list, and it's not very long, so let's just get into it. Okay, so I rewatched The Dropout on Hulu with Amanda Seyfried about Elizabeth Holmes. I originally watched it when it came out. I think it came out in September of last year. I'm not 100% sure, but it was like fall of last year, I'm pretty sure. And I really enjoyed it the first time around. And I had seen this video on YouTube of Amanda Seyfried talking about the show. She did like a reacting to some of the TV shows and movies she's done throughout her career, like Mean Girls and Mamma Mia and Les Mis and Megan's Body and The Dropout. And she just did such a good job in that show. I thought her acting did. She won what was it? Was it a Golden Globe or was it? It was. She won an award for it, I believe. And I just thought it was really good, so I watched it again. It's 8 episodes, and it's on Hulu. I think the last episode is the weakest in the whole series, but by then kind of all the drama is done. This scandal has kind of been exposed at that point, so it's kind of just like, what happens now? Kind of just like the aftermath. So it makes sense, but anyways, The Dropout. I don't know why I was thinking about this when I was watching it. I don't know why I wasn't aware of like Elizabeth Holmes and everything that was happening when it happened, because it all got exposed in 2017, and I was old enough to, be cognizant of the news and what is going on around a younger son and the wife and mother, because they had been in the news recently because the father and husband Alex Murdoch, is obviously accused of killing them. So I knew a little bit about that, but I did not know about two of the other murders that are possibly, allegedly connected to them. Okay, so let's start at the beginning of this series. So it's 3 episodes. The first episode and part of the second episode is dedicated or about Mallory Beach. Mallory Beach. She was a 19-year-old girl who was killed in a boating accident. And in this boating accident, the younger son, who I had mentioned earlier, Paul, was driving. And he was very, very drunk. pictures of Paul and his mother with those other two. So it was just very, very kind of quick at the end, very rushed. And it didn't give, I mean, I don't know, it was just, I wish it had gotten, like, maybe one more episode could have explained it better. Maybe they could have done, like, one episode on Mallory, one episode on those two deaths that, you know, conflicting reports. Allegedly, they were, you know, killed, but, you know, there are other reports that said no. last one